All right, hello everyone, and let me go ahead and pull this back up. Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 5 in a best of 5 series. We are tied up at 2 games apiece, and this is only the 3rd game I'm casting from this series. Excuse me 1 second. All right, so let's take a look at the strategies. Pretty much 1 minute mark, Altar of Kings will be completed, and we'll see if it is going to be an Archmage versus an Archmage. And yes, again, it will be. Now, so far the series has been rather interesting in that Hawk threw away the very first game, and then Yumiko, even though he had a very strong economic advantage, the unit composition and his positioning wasn't nearly as good, leading to a lot of issues for himself. We'll see what will be happening next. And in this final decisive Game 5 or Game 3, depending on how you want to look at it, as a footman now moving out and doing a little bit of scouting. Now, remember, both of these players have played each other 4 more times previous to this particular matchup. So they have a very good idea of the current mindset and the current strategies. I would say that in the very first, or in the games that we've seen so far, though, they generally play on very, very different strategies, as we now see Hawk coming in, and he will be trying to go after this 5-3-3 creep camp. Now, as every player knows, Null Assassins like to share the damage, and they are going to be shooting at every single militia that they possibly can. And you can see how much damage that has been dealt. As you see, the militias now go down. Claws of Attack +6 for the Archmage, as Yumiko upgrades very quickly to a keep. Wow. I do not know what to make of this. This is a very different strategy from what we saw earlier. And this may be a tier 2 timing attack of some sort. Yes, thank you for pinging the map. I kind of already stated that already. And we are going to see an Archmage continuing to wander around. Okay, one footman now making its way down off over here, purposely walking in a direction where it will not get scouted and will not feed any experience. Archmage now trying to chase as well, as we are going to see a bit of an engagement. Now, Yumiko is going to want to stay relatively close to home, so he has that defender's advantage of militia. He does, however, want to make sure that he keeps his upgrade to keep well under wraps, so that his opponent doesn't know about it. You can take a look, 26/30. Arcane Tower is not yet up, and we're going to see the Water Elementals and the Footmen now try to battle it out here. All right, Yumiko has really no business in trying to fight in this particular fight, and if Hawk can actually make him pay for it, that is going to really, really hurt him in the end. But this is Secret Valley with 2 fountains of health, and with 2 fountains of health, you are able to heal up those low injured footmen rather quickly. Footmen now backing off here. Ogre Warrior being brought over as well. Not quite sure why, as apparently the Ogre Warriors are just very, very mad at Yumiko. Does it ever feel like the map is just working against you? That must be the case, as Yumiko didn't even get to buy Boots of Speed, and we now see Hawk has purchased those Boots of Speed and now made its way off to the north. All right. Keep is nearing completion now. No real training of any additional heroes. Hawk is trying to creep out and perhaps trying to get higher level up. Does get a potion of or a tome of intelligence, as we are still seeing both of these players just fighting and battling it out. All right, Water Elementals are going to get taken down. Yes, Hawk does get that last kill. Yumiko pushing back off, pushing off Hawk, and then Hawk, what is he going to do? Where is he going to regroup to? As we do have 2 footmen fighting a single footman here, and are they gonna wake up? All right, 2 versus 1, and how much damage is gonna be dealt as we now see Hawk's Archmage shows up in time to cause a bit of problems. All right, more footmen. Battle at the Fountain of Health here, as Hawk does have Water Elementals in position. Water Elemental may try to wake up the creeps. It quickly gets purged and taken down. And now we see a battle at the fountain. Hawk in a very bad position here. Is he going to be able to actually survive this fight as footmen are battling it up? Footmen, Archmage, Water Elementals, both sides still engaging here. One footman of Yumiko's does get taken down. A footman of Hawk may get taken down. Yes, but I'm not sure by who, as we are still engaging. The Red Drake after the Water Elemental, and Hawk does get the experience off of that, but Yumiko gets the item, and I'm not sure who comes out on top. Since there was no level on Hawk, I would say that Yumiko got the better of that for now, as he does have Gloves of Haste. Mountain King already out for Yumiko, and that is going to come as a very big surprise, a very big shock. Hawk may not be ready for the casters that Yumiko is already training up, or will be training in a matter of seconds. Double Arcane Sanctums, double speed build, and there's a Stormbolt. Hawk in a bit of trouble. There is now level 3 as the Mountain King pushes back, and wow, Hawk has to be wondering how fast that tech was, but now we see Hawk going into a very quick tier 3. Mountain King is already up, and we are already going into a quick tier 3. We are already adding a lumber mill. We could be adding in a blacksmith as well, and then trying to go into knights, as the Archmage is quickly healing back over here on the top left-hand side of the map. All right, Mountain King, however, does not want to engage without the rest of his footman army behind him, and it looks as though the Mountain King is pushing in again. What's going to be happening here? Archmage now backing off. Both sides are still fighting it out. Archmage has a little while longer to fight underneath this Fountain of Health before this Red Drake wakes up and tries to engage. All right, here you have it. Is the Archmage going to wake up the creeps? It looks like he might. Yes, going after the Null Brutes first, and then later that Mountain King. Mountain King, however, getting Stormbolted and may get surrounded, and a huge upset already. Hawk losing his Mountain King at level 1. A huge mistake by Hawk, as Yumiko gonna get some easy experience there. Meanwhile, the Drake isn't gonna get taken down. Archmage, more Stormbolt. This could be very bad positioning, as well as the Red Drake taking a lot of damage, and the Fountain of Health actually forcing the experience to go to Yumiko instead, as Hawk tried to deny it and was unable to. All right, Yumiko now coming back down. It looks like we could have some footmen and some more units making their way in. Workshops are being added as well. We can see that the blacksmith is down, and here's the engagement at the Ogre Magi. Both sides are fighting. Both sides are taking a lot of that damage from that creep camp. Yumiko taking a bit more as a Stormbolt. Long distance attack against Hawk. Archmage needs to be careful. Another Stormbolt will be up in about 8 more seconds, as the priest does get taken down. And this is a 2-on-1 fight, but there are militia here for Yumiko. Water Elementals getting disenchanted. Both sides are still fighting it out. Casters are trying to run away, and Hawk is just sacrificing units very needlessly at this point. And Yumiko may just be able to take this unless the superior tech of Hawk once again pulls through. Paladin now already being trained. Where is that Mountain King? Mountain King right on the tails. We could be seeing some knights being added. Mortar teams could be added as well. Casters are coming in. I guess this is the 1-1-1 build. 1 workshop, 1 barracks, 1 arcane sanctum, as the Archmage now needs to work overtime to get that Mountain King some experience. All right, here we have Mountain King does have Boots of Speed. Casters finally bringing up the rear. Archmage with Yumiko. Archmage sitting at level 3. Mountain King sitting at level 2. Ogre Magi will get taken down, and Yumiko is building that Town Hall rather quickly. This is a very similar game to what we saw on Terranistan. The only real difference, though, would be... the only real difference, though, is that the way the map is situated. The way the map is situated, Hawk does not have as many places to maneuver, run, and hide And because of that, he may not be in a good position to actually catch some units off guard. If he doesn't have a good flanking position, then this is not going to be good for him. His mortar teams are not going to be able to fire from safety. And if his mortar teams are unable to fire from safety, then that is pretty much going to be all for naught. As we now see Hawk trying to creep out this orange creep camp here, getting level 2 on that Mountain King, as we already have Knights joining in on the fight. Here we go. Archmage now coming in, and this may be a very good position for him, as is going to catch some units in transit. Archmage now in trouble. Is it going to get a Scroll of Town portal? No, it doesn't need it just quite yet. And here we have Stormbolt on the Archmage. Archmage Priest now Holy Light, saving that for just a moment. Disenchant, and as both sides are still fighting out, another Disenchant coming in, as Hawk has been saving this priest one time too many. Spellbreaker still giving chase there. Another Holy Light. And now are we going to perhaps see a Staff of Sanctuary save one? Yes, a Staff of Sanctuary saving another one there, as the first priest of Hawk finally gets taken down. Yumiko getting to level 3 on his Mountain King. There's a Stormbolt. Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Will he be able to escape? It looks like he might be able to. There's a Stormbolt just to add insult to injury, as the Mountain King, oh, the Mountain King, he does have a Wand of Mana Stealing. Is it going to be able to do enough, as both sides are still fighting it out? There's a Wand of Mana Stealing bolting on the Mountain King again. The Mountain King down on mana. He uses a Potion of Heal, a Potion of Mana, and now the Mountain King once again getting Stormbolted. Okay, that Mountain King is still on the run. Spellbreaker still trying to bring up the rear. Mountain King, is he going to be able to get off another Stormbolt? Yes, he does. And we'll talk about the longest run in history. And oh, is it going to be enough? Oh my goodness. Mountain King unable to catch up. And wow. Oh, Potion of Healing. And it looks as though whoa, Holy Sanctuary. Staff of Sanctuary saves it. And Hawk chases a Mountain King halfway across the map with nothing to show for it but perhaps a dead Paladin. Scroll of Town portal now transferred over, and he needs to get the heck out of Dodge. That fight was no good for him at all. Hawk now speed building a Town Hall of his own. Mountain King getting resurrected. Archmage sitting at level 3. Mountain King sitting at level 2. Paladin sitting at level 1. Uses a Clarity Potion of his own. We are sitting at 50 over 54, 63 over 66. And who is going to come out on top? Archmage now making a move out across the map. You see a very, very heavy Spellbreaker army. Animal War Training is being added. This Paladin needs to get some major healing going on if he's going to be important in this fight. All right, here we have Paladin now getting healed up, but what is this? Yumiko looking to pressure, and Yumiko is actually looking for... Yeah, Yumiko is actually looking for Hawk, and Hawk is actually doing a very, very smart move here, creeping out this Fountain of Health. You can see that Yumiko is going to be pushing in off over here. Do we have a Scroll of Town portal? No, we do not, and that is going to be a very, very devastating blow. Hawk will end up losing this workshop, but buildings do take a little bit of time to get taken down here in WarCraft 3. What item was left behind? Slippers of Agility, Rune Bracers, a beautiful item for that Mountain King, and that may be enough to shut down the other player's Mountain King in a Mountain King versus Mountain King fight. Arcane Vault now down, as we see another Knight being added. 58 over 66. Perhaps a workshop will be added somewhere down off over here. And what is going to be happening? Hawk now rebuilding that lost workshop. Okay, Mountain King going up against a Water Elemental. There's the Stormbolt. If he can get the experience, that is just free experience for him. Yes, he does get it. And that Paladin sitting at level 2. Mountain King sitting at level 2. What is happening next? As Hawk takes this opportunity to finally creep out his own green creep camp. Alright. Archmage is sitting at level 4, level 2 Brilliance Aura. Very important. Mountain King sitting at level 2 does have a pendant of energy. And we are going to see both sides now fight it out here. And what's going to be happening now? Mountain King coming in. Spellbreakers pushing in. Alright. What's happening? Too much going on. It looks like focusing down on that Archmage. Archmage trying to get away. Is he going to be able to get away as the other Archmage now doing a bit of pathing and blocking? Mountain King may be able to try to come in here as Sorceresses are now going to get taken down. Mountain King sitting at level 3, and that is going to potentially be huge as the Mountain King is going to be forced to use a Potion of Lesser Invulnerability. Both sides are still fighting it out. Knights are much more effective here against those Spellbreakers. There's just more Spellbreakers on the map because it looks a bit easier, but the Spellbreakers are now eating through all of the casters, and with no more casters alive, what is going to keep the Knights alive? All right, Militia now being brought over. Added additional DPS is definitely going to help. Hawk with that extra Paladin, is he going to be able to make anything happen besides keeping his Knights alive? Mountain King sitting at level 3. Are we perhaps going to see a Stormbolt onto Yumiko's Water Elemental? No, it looks like it will just be another regroup and another retreat. 63 over 66. More lumber needs to be harvested. Hawk buying double clarity potions, getting mana back up on that Mountain King and on that Paladin once more. All right, we're going to see another engagement here. 1-1 upgrades versus Animal War Training upgraded Knights, and here we go again. All right, Mortar teams quickly trying to deny all of those casters. The casters are getting destroyed, but the Spellbreakers are quickly rushing in to take down his opponent's casters. Both sides are fighting it out. Here we have Knights trying to position another beautiful Staff of Sanctuary, saving units as the Spellbreakers taking a bit of damage from the Fragmentation Shards. Paladin is in a bit of trouble. He may get surrounded, and yes, he will. He will get surrounded, and that is no good. He needs to get out of there, and will he be able to get out of there? That is the question. And oh, Archmage, does he have a Scroll of Town Portal? Can he transfer it to him? And yes, he does at 8 hit points. Beautifully done. And a huge save there. All right, Paladin now hiding in the backside of the base. There is an exposed Knight, though. But with so many Mortar teams back here, this could be a potential issue. Double Arcane Towers. And yes, with the Mortar teams and the double Arcane Towers, unable to fight back. And Hawk doing a beautiful job defending. Archmage sitting at level 3, and that Brilliance Aura is really starting to make a difference here, as the Archmage, I believe, is giving an additional 0.75 mana a second to the rest of the units. All right, if you guys remember back in Reign of Chaos, Archmage actually gave 100%, 200%, 300% mana regeneration. That was the most broken thing I ever saw, as an Archmage could cast Blizzard, and before the timer was up, could cast Blizzard again and actually have more mana than it started with. All right, let's see what's gonna be happening here. Oh, Ogre Lord did get caught up on a sheep. Mountain King, no Stormbolt on the Ogre Lord. Bit of a mistake there. Ogre Magi now gonna get taken down as we see pressure finally hitting the expansion. Hawk now trying to retreat with those units. Meanwhile, Ogre Lord now gonna get taken down. Is it gonna give any additional important levels? Level 3 on that Paladin? Yes, it does. And Unholy Aura on a Paladin. Yes, on its way to becoming a Death Knight. And perhaps wishes that it had Unholy Aura more than Devotion Aura anyways. All right, on the way down, we are going to see, this is going to be a trade for trade, as we now see what the Mortar teams are going to be bringing up the rear. All right, what's going to happen? Hawk will lose this Town Hall. Shortly after that, this Town Hall will fall as well. Is the Mortar teams going to take it down in time? Yes, it does. Wow, a split-second difference. And what a difference a second makes, as Yumiko now on uneven footing, as the human tri-hero of Hawk may simply be too much, since the economies are about the same. All right, does the Archmage? Yes, the Archmage does have a Scroll of Town Portal. Mountain King could get in position. There's another Stormbolt. 2 quick Knights take down a Peasant, and now we are posturing ourselves for a base race here. Yumiko taking down the main building here. Yumiko may end up losing his building here in just a second. There's another Scroll of Town Portal. All those Knights need to get out of here, as the Knights will be landing right there. All those units will be landing right there. Mortar teams, Stormbolt, Thunderclap, and the Archmage, almost gets taken down at 37 hit points. Yumiko is in trouble. Is this going to be enough? Mortar teams trying to take down more units. as the casters and all the other units are in position. Spellbreakers are on the wrong side, but it does make it difficult for the knights to line up and engage against the Spellbreakers. All right, there is the Mountain King going up against the Mountain King. Spellbreakers are now trying to push in again. Archmage somehow back up to full hit points already, as we are seeing a battle back and forth. Staff of Sanctuary saving Hawk's Archmage. And wow, what is happening here? Mountain King, level 4, Thunderclap again. Scroll of Healing, what's going to be happening? We do not have a Scroll of Town Portal to get out of here. Yumiko, if he can make something happen, could be able to come out of this alive, but the Knights are too beefy in this fight. All right, both sides are continuing the fight. Mountain King is surrounded. There's a huge Thunderclap there, only to be followed by a Stormbolt. Disenchant, and there goes the Mountain King at level 4. Paladin, I believe, is going to just clean up here, and Yumiko is in trouble. He will lose his main town hall, and that will be the GG. No more gold, or he has enough gold to rebuild if he wants to, but I don't think it's gonna really matter. Yeah, Hawk has played this series absolutely brilliantly, as the Archmage has now come back in full. All right, Archmage now leading the charge, able to get a Sorceress in the back. Not even a fellow caster is immune. And what is this? 800 gold versus 400 gold. There's still a Red Drake here, and Yumiko hanging around that one tower there, or that one secret or fountain, hoping to get back in. Yumiko gonna get his gold back up to 600. Is he speed building something? What is he building? Okay, there we go. There we have it. Yumiko does, I think he resurrected his Mountain King. Yes, resurrected the Mountain King, and there's the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed the series.